Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another show of a street man and a Christian woman. And I haven't done a show in a while, so it feels pretty good this evening just to be back on the mic and try to share some wisdom and share some thoughts about marriage. And the purpose of us doing this show is to give back. We've been married for 24 years and we have 6 kids. And we've been through a lot in marriage. And we've gained a lot of wisdom about being married because we went through a whole lot of trials and tribulations to get to where we are. But marriage is still a beautiful thing, even in this world that we seem like today that nobody wants to get married. I mean, we barely even see weddings today. But I hope that we be able to share a little wisdom, a little insight about being married and give some viewpoints that would make people have some hope and some thoughts that it can work. Even if your marriage is having troubles at this time, your marriage still could work. It's just that you got to go through the steps in the process and gain the knowledge and the wisdom to make it last. It will last. And I share with you this evening how beautiful it is once it do get to that level. You know what I mean? It wasn't always like this. I say this time and time again because I want everybody to understand that we was not always here. We went through a lot to get here. Now it is beautiful that we are here, and that's why we want to share. But it's a lot of trials and tribulations that you're gonna go through being married. And I hope through us doing this show that we'll be able to put a little insight on it. So I'm gonna let Miss Kenyatta speak and see what she got to say for this evening, and then I'm gonna come back and close. So on to you, Miss Kenyatta.
Yes. In today's world, being a Christian woman, and I really would really stress this, being married is definitely a challenge, but we also got to be transparent. Being transparent meaning it's not a straight laced world no more. What I mean by that, Christians is not Christian people a lot of times. And me being a Christian woman myself, I had to learn being transparent by going through the shoes. When I mean going through the shoes, it's like if you got a closet and you got a bunch of shoes in there and you keep trying on different pair of shoes, eventually you're going to find the one that fit. And that's where you had to go through maybe 10 pair of shoes to find out what really fits you. And a lot of times what you have to understand is when you're not transparent, you don't give yourself the opportunity to go through changes, growth, maturity, prioritizing what used to be important to what's not important. In today's time, we really don't know how to, Christians today struggle to be transparent because you think just staying around Christians make you a Christian or just going to church every day make you religion and laws, and that's really bondage, and that's just not how it is. You have to be transparent. And being a Christian woman the way I still am, I have a lot of wisdom about life in ways I couldn't have gained just staying in a complacency state. And the Christian world is challenged by it because they don't really know what it takes to be transparent. And it took for me to get out my comfort zone, get out of complacency, be around different people, adapt, grow, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, see how different people live different other than a Christian person does. Just getting out there to see something different, Christian people struggle there. And I struggle. And if it wasn't for me being married to my husband, I honestly don't know how my future would have turned out. And the reason why I'm saying that because Christian, we're learning to live by the Bible, my godly God. And the one thing about God that I did learn, I lived godly for a long time in my life. Still live godly. The thing about it is you got to have mercy and grace with yourself to let go of some of your old ways and set ways that you was taught. Because the world, facing life and being married at a young age, whoa, was a big eye opener. I had no clue how cold and cruel and mean the world is. And as a Christian, you would quickly go, oh, I got to go back to my church and stay in my comfort zone. But that's not how the world is. The world is in a culture shock because so many people don't believe in God today. So many people don't even believe in going to church anymore. So many people just don't believe in it. And so you're like, well, how did the world get like this? And a lot of it is Christian people not really doing the necessary tools and work that it takes to be a Christian. People are not being an example of what a mom is or what it is to be in a relationship. You know, you with a straight-laced person and you straight-laced, that's cool. But majority of the world is not straight-laced. And being a Christian, you're trapped. Because you could be in church with people that just as corrupted as the dog on the streets are, and you don't even have a clue, and you're in church every week smiling. And my marriage, in today's time, we got social media. Okay, we know we got social media, but everything that's put out there isn't true. Everything that's out there picture perfect ain't true. You know, I went through that phase in my life where I was trying to be perfect, and it got me in so many twists and turns to where I had to really sit down and figure out who I am. And who I am I was a black woman. That's a Christian girl. But when you're a Christian girl trying to meet a man, it's really challenging because a lot of godly men ain't who they say they are. And you end up being attracted to a man that's not godly. So you asking yourself what qualities and what am I looking for? And a lot of times what you need is balance. Okay, you got to forgive yourself and let go of the strict ways and, you know, just like having sex with your partner. You know, I had to learn how to do that role, especially being a Christian woman. And so many Christian women struggle here. How do you do that? You know, sex is nasty. You're not supposed to do that. I we have sex once a week and that type of thing. No, you can't do that today's time being married, because that's why the porn business is off the chain. You know, they're getting it some other way if you're not getting it. And that's something that I had to really learn that the Christian world don't talk about. They need to talk about. You need to have sex. That's the one area I have to be transparent in. The other area that I had to be transparent in, I had an abortion. You know, I was married and I had to have an abortion because we couldn't afford the baby. And most people, church people, condemn you for that. You know, you killed the baby and you're this and you're that and you're this, and God gives you grace and mercy, and you got to forgive yourself. I remember feeling like it was the end of my life because we couldn't afford to have a child at that time. Another area where I had to be transparent is that I had to learn to have unconditional love. I love my husband without judging him and condemning him, and meet him where he is. You know, and don't try to control and take the manhood from him, because being a Christian, you can do that to your partner if you're not careful. Well, you're not up to this standard. You're not doing this right. You're not paying the bills right. You're not being honest, and you're not doing this. And it's easy to be a nagger and a complainer, and before you know it, you done pushed your man away. And even though he wasn't a Christian man, that doesn't mean that you can't make your relationship work. And that's where I had to learn, how do I get the knowledge to do this? And a lot of it comes from I had to let go and step back and really wake up and see that life ain't the way you think it is sometimes. And being honest with myself and getting clarity and understanding, like, you know, we're in times where people just don't want it no more. It's too much work. But I wanted it because what's in me is what my dad instilled in me. Be the best. So what kept me going in my marriage with my husband is no matter what, I didn't quit on him. No matter what, I wasn't giving up. No matter what, I'm going to be the best wife that I can be. I'm going to be the best dad. I'm going to be the best mom. I'm going to be the best wife. And it took a lot of learning in ways that it was uncomfortable. It was challenging. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. But the one thing about being raised as a Christian, you have to learn to challenge yourself. Because everybody ain't going to wear that same pair of shoes that you was raised in. Everybody not going to stoop to your level. And that's where I had to have mercy and forgive myself and step back and see that I don't know everything. Everything that I was taught was not right. Everything that in a marriage you go through, you really got to choose which way you want to go. Do you want to be a worldly woman or a boss or a businesswoman, or do you want to be a wife and a mom? And it's okay if you're not popular. It's okay if you don't look the part. It's okay you want to stand by your man and live your life, and everybody not approve of it. So that's all I have to say. Back to Mr. Delgado.
Well, thank you, Miss Kenyatta, and we'll see if you have anything else to say after I do this little closing. We'll see if you have any last remarks. But I like the word that you use, transparent. Because transparent is what we want to show. We do not want to sit up here and act like we holy moly and all this and that and the other and like we ain't been through nothing, you know? Because like we said in the beginning of the show that we was going to be transparent and explain to you things that we had to go past. Like in today's time, you know, I just guess that we dealt with our situation for so long, you know what I mean? Like there's so many men in the world today that's getting high. You know what I mean? I mean, reality was I got high for years. You know what I mean? It's just that she put it up with it. You know what I mean? She dealt with it. She didn't judge me. She just allowed me to go through it until I came out of it and grew on the other side. You know what I mean? So we're being as transparent as we can be to try to help other marriages understand that marriages work. You know what I mean? You're not just going to stay married just because you got that ring on her finger. You know, you got to put the work in. You know what I mean? I so much that I had to go through to learn how to be the man that I am today. You know what I mean? So that's why we're doing this show. Hopefully be able to help other marriages. And we're trying to flip it to where we want to be somewhat of like of a marriage support team. We want to be a marriage support team so that we can allow people who are struggling in their marriage, help them understand that there is help, there is hope, and there is a way. It's just that you have to get the knowledge and the wisdom and don't give up. Like we didn't give up. The one thing that we didn't do, we didn't give up. Even when we fought to stay together. You know what I mean? It's like we'd have a fight, and then we have a fight to stay together. So, you know, don't think that marriage is over because you and your spouse may be going through some things. Y'all might be going through a breakthrough. The bright light might be on the other side, and you give up before that day comes. So as we do our shows and our episodes and we talk about the things that we've been going through in our marriage to hopefully help other people and make them see that you're not alone and that there's other marriages that's going through the same struggle that you are. But there is a brighter day. There's a brighter day. I promise you there's a brighter day. In our actualities, we kind of like live by that. If it's dark today, we can almost rest assured that there'll be a brighter day. It's just dark today and we can't see. So I hope that the message that we're giving this evening will help someone and touch someone and make them realize that marriage is a beautiful thing when you get to the other side, when you get to that side where y'all just learn how to totally get along and y'all do become a true one as a couple. So I'm going to see if Miss Kenyatta have anything else that she'd like to say at this time, and then we'll round it off. So if you have anything else you'd like to say, Miss Kenyatta?
I would just say please work on your relationship and don't give up. Get counseling. Go to extra mile. And what I mean by go to extra mile, get a counselor. Go to marriage counseling, support groups, watch TV episodes, ministries on TV, or there's just all type of resources out there that can give you some pointers on how to better your relationship. And remember to be patient. That's all.
Okay, so in closing, we just like to share that don't give up. Keep on putting in the fight if you really want to be together. And I truly do believe that people want to be together because you invested in each other. That's what marriage is. It's an investment. It's just that you don't want to give up on your investment so fast, so soon, without putting up a fight. So at this time, as we always say at the end of the show, love, peace, and togetherness, and good night.